helps if you were Jewish to be
Yeah.
there.
How come your sister left before you guys did?
Well, my sister, in 1938, an aunt of my father sent an affidavit which was necessary to come to America.
Sent a what?
First, an affidavit which made it possible for you to come to America. But she got number 38,000, and then later on we got under 45,000. And so the difference between her and us was several years. So she got out in 1938, and she left on a German ship. But then the war broke out, and the ship came back. Then a few months later, she left on the Swedish ship, and that got through to America. It was very dangerous because the Germans would torpedo any boats they could find.
How did it get through then?
Well, I think she was lucky.
Just like
First of all, they went pretty north because they came after all from Sweden.
Yeah. So, like, that's cool though. Like, well, not cool, but like she was like going on the ship, and then they turned back, and then
the ship came back because the war broke out, and they couldn't have a passenger ship.
But then luckily she got on.
But then a few months later, she got a ticket on a Swedish ship, and if she wouldn't have been in America, we probably wouldn't have survived.
Really?
Because when we got the tickets to go from Germany to Japan, some of it we could pay in Germany, but some of it had to be paid in dollars. So she was a young girl, but she got a bank loan.
Yeah.
So that we got money enough to buy the tickets.
And how come you couldn't go on the Swedish ship? Was it still because of the numbers?
No, our number was not enough, so America wouldn't give us a visa.
Okay.
You know, they were very, very careful whom they let go.
Yeah.
And all sorts of things.
Is there anything else you would like to add? How did you feel? Was the experience like?
Well, first of all, I would say that America is a wonderful country and completely different from Germany, even without the Nazis. And even though we had a nice life in Germany, here in America you are free, no one bothers you ever, especially not in New York, and it's a completely different life. So I'm very happy to be here. I think that's my story, more or less.
Yeah. But like, the things like while you were like getting bombed like near you and the Nazis, was that like terrifying or anything? Like?
Yes, it was not a good experience to sit down in the basement and the bombs are falling, and actually you don't know if that next bomb might fall on your house.
But you've never what was probably the closest you think it's gone to you?
Well, I was even bombed when I was in Japan. The American Air Force came one day. I had a stomach trouble and was in bed. And suddenly the American Air Force came with B-29s, 30,000 feet high. The Japanese had no fighter planes to fight them. And suddenly they dropped the bombs by mistake in the area where we lived.
They didn't mean to, though?
And it I think they want to bomb military things.
Yeah.
But they dropped some bombs in the wrong place, like one fell into a marketplace and I think killed 1,000 people. But they didn't do that on purpose, that was a mistake. But Shanghai was a terrible experience, and people always say to me, why don't you go back? It's such a nice city. I said, and I was there were 4 million people there. Now there are 14 million people there. That doesn't get me any idea that I would like to be there today. I had enough of one.
Yeah. So, do you have a lot more of, like, I guess, a respect for life and things like?
Oh, sure. You have to be happy to be alive and to get through all of these things. And I wrote my life story. I wrote 56 pages. But that's actually a little bit too much to put on this tape.
Yeah. But it's amazing, right? And you're happy you're here.
Yeah, I'm certainly happy you're here.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you.
And the other thing is this, I wouldn't have had my granddaughter.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.